Why airport food is so expensive. You've probably noticed this before. The moment you step into an airport, the price of everything seems to double or even triple. A simple sandwich costs as much as a full meal outside, and a bottle of water might be priced higher than an entire pack at a local store. But why is airport food so expensive? Is it just greed, or are there deeper reasons behind the price tags? In this video, we'll break down the hidden costs, the logistics, the regulations, and the unique environment that make airport dining one of the most expensive food experiences on Earth. By the end, you'll see that there's more to the story than just overpricing, and you might never look at your airport coffee the same way again. The cost of location and rent. Airports are some of the most expensive places in the world to operate a business. Every square meter of space is tightly controlled, and rents for food outlets are significantly higher than in normal city centers. Airports charge vendors not only for rent, but also for concessions fees, which can reach 30 to 50% of their revenue. In simple terms, if a food outlet makes $100 in sales, a large portion of that immediately goes back to the airport authority. This means businesses have no choice but to raise prices to remain profitable. On top of this, airport locations are highly limited. With only a handful of restaurants or cafes available in each terminal, operators know they face less competition, which also contributes to higher prices. Security and logistics challenges. Food inside an airport doesn't arrive as easily as it does to a city restaurant. Every ingredient, from a tomato to a bottle of water, must pass through strict airport security and logistics procedures. Delivery trucks can't just pull up to the door. They must go through security screening, background checks, and timed access windows. This makes deliveries more expensive and time-consuming. A simple supply run outside an airport might take an hour. Inside an airport, the same process can take several hours and cost far more. On top of that, packaging standards are higher, ensuring items meet health and security requirements. These logistical barriers mean that every sandwich or coffee you buy carries the hidden cost of complex delivery and screening. Captive audience and limited choice. Once you're inside an airport terminal, especially after clearing security, you're essentially a captive audience. Unlike in a city where you can walk out and find cheaper alternatives, inside an airport, you're restricted to the vendors available. This lack of competition gives restaurants more pricing power, and because passengers often arrive early to wait for their flights, demand is steady and predictable. Hungry travelers have limited options, and food outlets know this. It's not just about hunger either. People often buy food out of stress, boredom, or comfort, which makes them more willing to pay higher prices. Airports are designed environments, and food pricing takes full advantage of human behavior under time pressure. Labor costs and staff training. Working at an airport is not the same as working in a regular restaurant. Employees need additional background checks, security clearances, and training to work in secured areas. This process is costly and time-consuming, and wages are often higher to attract staff willing to handle the stricter environment and odd hours. Many airports operate 24/7, which means restaurants must pay higher wages for overnight shifts and holiday work. All these additional costs flow directly into the prices you pay for food. Airport operations and hidden fees. Running a business in an airport involves hidden costs that most passengers don't see. For example, utilities. Electricity and water costs are higher because of airport surcharges. Waste disposal. Food waste must be handled under strict health regulations, which raises costs. Marketing fees. Many airports charge tenants for shared advertising or inclusion in airport directories. Design standards. Food outlets must often follow specific design guidelines set by the airport, increasing renovation and maintenance expenses. These hidden operational costs accumulate, leaving vendors with no choice but to raise menu prices to cover them. Safety, regulations, and quality control. Unlike outside restaurants, airport food vendors operate under extra layers of regulation. Every item must comply with strict health and safety checks because airports are international zones. Authorities closely monitor food safety standards, allergens, labeling, and even storage procedures. In some regions, inspections are more frequent than in city restaurants. Meeting these standards requires investment in specialized equipment, staff training, and compliance officers. all of which increase operating costs and, ultimately, menu prices. And psychological pricing and passenger perception. There's also a psychological element. Airports know that passengers are often stressed, tired, and rushed. In these conditions, people are less likely to compare prices or complain. Studies show that travelers tend to normalize higher costs because they expect airports to be expensive. This expectation allows vendors to maintain premium pricing without losing too many customers. Interestingly, some airports now require vendors to follow street pricing, meaning food must be priced similarly to outside locations, with only a small markup. But even then, the costs of logistics, labor, and fees often make it impossible to fully match outside prices. Global examples of high pricing. Airport food pricing isn't uniform across the world, but the trend is global. In the US, travelers often complain about paying $6 for a bottle of water or $15 for a basic sandwich. In Europe, luxury terminals like London Heathrow or Paris Charles de Gaulle are known for gourmet food courts, but prices reflect the exclusivity. In Asia and the Middle East, airports like Singapore Changi or Dubai International combine high-end dining with fast food, but even budget options are noticeably pricier than outside. These examples highlight that no matter where you fly, the airport markup is nearly unavoidable. Efforts to make airport food affordable. Some airports and authorities are responding to complaints. For example, street pricing policies. Certain U.S. airports require vendors to keep prices within 10 to 15% of outside rates. Food courts with more options. Airports are introducing chains like McDonald's or Pret a Manger to provide more budget-friendly choices. Passenger feedback systems. Apps and surveys allow passengers to report unfair pricing, pressuring vendors to keep costs reasonable. Still, despite these efforts, the unique environment of airports means prices will probably always be higher than on the street. The future of airport dining. Looking ahead, airport dining might change as airports modernize. Some trends include pre-order apps, allowing passengers to order meals ahead of time for pickup, reducing wait times and potentially lowering costs. Subscription models. Some lounges and airport chains are experimenting with meal passes or packages for frequent flyers. Automation. Robots and self-service kiosks could reduce labor costs, possibly lowering prices slightly. Healthier choices. Growing demand for fresh, sustainable food might reshape menus, though prices are likely to remain premium. In short, while technology may streamline the process, the structural costs of airport dining are unlikely to disappear. So why is airport food so expensive? It's not just about profit, it's about rent, security, logistics, regulations, labor, and the unique psychology of a captive audience. From the sandwich in your hand to the coffee in your cup, every bite carries hidden costs you don't see. The next time you grumble about paying $10 for a burger at an airport, remember the complex system that brought that meal to your table. It doesn't make the price any easier to swallow, but it explains why it's unlikely to change anytime soon. What do you think? Are airport food prices justified, or are they simply too high? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Skyvision Aviation, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another story from the skies. Safe travels, and may your next airport meal be worth the price.